So I'll just go back to the previous slide so it starts the entire recording. This is welcome to the training in social science. This is your resource person for the morning, Ms. Khyati Dwarkadas, PGT History, Head of the Department, Social Science, School Training Nodal Coordinator, GOPI Memorial School, Mumbai, Innovation Ambassador, Ministry of Education, Master Trainer and Resource Person, CBSE. It gives me immense pleasure to meet many of you in my trainings across COEs and the Bomis franchisee trainings. And it's really fun to see a lot of interaction coming all the way. So welcome to today's training, the agenda being innovative pedagogies in social science to engage learners, art integration. This time when I speak of pedagogy as a separate topic, we will touch upon the 5 e-learning by the NEP and target the CBSE examinations by the new pattern. So would you like to interpret this picture? You may put it in the chat box, or you may decide to unmute yourself and speak. I'm open to both. If you're comfortable unmuting, please do that. You want to raise your hand by any chance? Please feel free to do that. All right, Namrata Sharma, you've unmuted. Please go on.
Yes. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Would you want to interpret this picture, Namrata ma'am?
Yes. It's like the children have finished the school and now they don't know where they have to go, what they have to do, and they're looking a little confused.
All right, a nice interpretation. Any other interpretations that we may have?
We can see that creativity and innovation is flowing out of the school.
Sorry, creativity and intelligence are flowing out of the school, and the students are coming without creativity. They are coming out drained. Wonderful. So if you see, there's a nice happy tree there behind the school where the children were, and they were playing, and they were very, very happy. And when you look at them, the happy, creative, bright-minded students walk into school when they are very young. And what has this kind of a school done? Like a machine, like an industry, it has churned out the creativity and intelligence from the students and has drained it out like effluent and has brought out robotic, mechanic students. If you see, everybody looks alike when they come out of school. They've been churned and grilled into machines. So here, somebody needs to mute again. If you finish talking, please use the mute option. Thank you. So when we talk about joyful learning that we have in schools, we have this experiential learning. Funny ma'am, I request you to stay on mute mode unless you are talking to me. Thank you. So when we talk about Padkar Kumar and Karkar Kumari from the Experiential Learning booklet, the handbook of the CBSE, we have Padkar Kumar, who is the bookworm, the Kitabi Kida as we call him, the Padhoge, Likhoge, Banoge, Nawab kind of guys. And the Karkar Kumari is the lady, the little girl who believes in hands-on learning. She believes in doing things in the playway method. So she is like खेल खेल में हम सीखते हैं जनाब. And she is the one who tries to encourage joyful learning. And the experiential learning theory, let me tell you, is developed from the constructivist theory of Piaget and Vygotsky. So quickly on a notepad or a paper that you may have with you, I request you to draw a house. You may use basic shapes to draw a house. I give you less than a minute. Kanti ma'am, your audio is not connected. So once you are done drawing the house, you may display it like this on your own screen. Are you even drawing the house? Wonderful, Akshata ma'am. That's really beautiful. What about Shagun ma'am? I don't see your house. Saima Pathan, Anita Seni.
Ma'am, I'm still like on the way only. I just need 5 more
Okay.
minutes to reach the school.
Okay. Shogun ma'am, we don't see the house. All right. So if you notice, both the houses that we have a similar shape. And this is not the problem that has arisen today. It is a problem, you may lower your houses. It is a problem that we have been noticing since we were children. Today, if we tell anyone to draw a house, this is some kind of a house with a little scenery that the entire 135 crore people of India will draw. Because in our childhood, we were taught how to make a house, and it was like this. And this is something we have to erase from the minds of the younger generation that we teach today. Today, we have to let children develop their own skills, competencies, and their own emotional intelligence. And we have to give them that kind of an expression. They may choose in the classroom to do a story, or if they are younger ones, they can do block building, or if they are even in the social science class, you can let them use their multiple intelligences to do different kinds of activities for the same topic. And as we all know, Picasso has said, art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. So let us see what art integrated learning is all about. Would you want to quickly tell us what is art integrated learning? Somebody who may wish to quickly tell us what is art integrated learning? Namrata ma'am?
Yes, anything to make it interesting. If we include, like art in it, like even if I'm teaching social science, so if we make a project and then explain it, or make charts, and then explain it, tell the children to explain it, whatever they've made.
Okay, so when we talk about art integration, it's not only charts and projects, it's any kind of art, the visual or the performing art. So let's move further. Art integration is a kind of pedagogy only, where art becomes the basis of the teaching learning process. And the objective of art integration is to make learning holistic, joyful, and experiential. So when we have different forms of art, we have visual arts and performing arts, painting, photography, clay modeling, sculpture, applied art, and craft, etc. make it visual art. And in the performing art, you have dance, vocal and instrumental music, puppetry, miming, storytelling. All of these are your performing arts. And you can have students do both kinds of arts in your art integrated learning projects in social science. Other forms of suggested art integrated activities would include role plays, filmmaking, video making, photography, creating PPT slideshows, maybe design thinking today, or visiting historical monuments, historical places, having a virtual exhibition of a museum, sketching, clay modeling, sculpture, dance performances, creating art reservoir using waste materials. So best of waste is what most schools do. Jewelry making, particularly when you're teaching civilizations. You can have jewelry making, paper quilling, papier-mâché with beads, grains we don't really use though. And then what do you do with all of these activities that you've done the whole year round? Create an art exhibition and let people's work be appreciated. So the left brain functions have the analysis, the thought, the logical thinking, reasoning, etc. And the right brain functions have art awareness, creativity, and imagination. And when we talk about importance of art integration as a teaching concept, we talk about the deeper understanding of the students, their creativity, getting abstract concepts closer to them. And art can clarify the concepts with ease and increase knowledge and understanding of the subject. Now, art integration requires a student to build 21st century skills. And if you go to see the 4 C's of the 21st century skills, they are critical thinking, communication, collaboration, but without creativity and innovation, nothing can be possible. And CBSE has, brought about competency-based education, which can be implemented only through innovative and joyful experiential pedagogies like art integrated and sport integrated learning, storytelling, etc., which promote reflection, critical thinking, creativity, initiation, self-direction, and other 21st century skills. So Margaret Mead also puts it across that children must be taught how to think, not what to think. So you just, lead the horse to the water. Don't force it to drink. And that makes a big difference in our lives. Now, there is a checklist for teachers for art integrated learning. Whenever you do an art integrated project, the activity must promote experiential learning. Students should get hands-on experience. It should be done collaboratively. They should be engaged in constructing and demonstrating their understanding and not simply memorizing concepts. They should be able to create something new. Art form connects to other disciplines. There is a mutual connection in reinforcing and not deliberation. Activity and project simplifies the concept being taken up. Material required for the activity, the project is easily available and does not put any financial burden for the students. Students are familiar with art forms being used in the activity. They have been given time to think about the content apart from the prescribed textbook. So you can even use library as an asset for research. Assessment techniques are relevant, age appropriate in connection with the art teacher. And as I showed you the list of suggested activities, these are some of the activities students in my school have taken up over the years. So you can see it's not something that's happened overnight. It's been practiced. It is being practiced. And you can see the joyful faces across the years. And these are actual images of the activities that students in my school have undertaken to make learning joyful. So if you also promote a similar thing, learning will always be joyful. Now let us quickly touch upon the 5 E's of lesson planning that we see in the National Education Policy 2020. And once again, the 5 E's of the lesson plan have come from the constructivist theory of Piaget and Vygotsky, which I have already told you about, and anyone who's done a B.Ed knows the theories of Piaget and Vygotsky. John Dewey, in his experiential learning theory, also picks up his experiential learning concept from constructivism. So the 5 E's of lesson planning are once again theoretical foundations. The findings of Atkin and Kaplu directly inform the creation of the 5E model, which focuses on allowing students to understand a concept over time through a series of established steps or phases. And these phases include engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. So when you talk about engage, you need to understand when you walk into a class, how are you going to engage the attention of the learners? You may want to do a role play, you may want to start with testing a KWL, you may want to know what is their previous knowledge about the concept, you may want them to do a mind map in a radial form, you may want to do a concept map. There's so much you may want to do. At the same time, once they are engaged in the lesson, you may want them to explore something more about the concept. Now, always remember the role of the teacher has changed from the chalk and board teacher to that of a facilitator. And the CBSE has prescribed that as the role of the teacher. No longer does the teacher need to use a mandatory chalk and board. You may write important words there, but now you have to let the students explore, give them something to research on. Like currently I'm in Maharashtra, there's so much happening on the Maharashtra political front. I have to let my students in the political science class explore on the Maharashtra political scenario, come back to my class and explain it, connect it to the concepts I am doing in my class. If I'm talking about the features of democracy, the arguments for and against democracy, I have to let my students view the current events and talk about it. So when they come back, they've explored, they've explained, the teacher will then elaborate on the concept. What happens is there will be a large amount of critical thinking being touched upon. Our job, as I told you, is to let them think, to understand. After we have elaborated, there is something called guided study, where you give 1 or 2 questions, you let them write, and you discuss those answers. And then there is independent study, where they do the answers on their own. After which we have a classroom evaluation at the end of each lesson. And this could be a simple thumbs up, thumbs down. It could be a summary, a conclusion. It could even be what worked well, a reflection for the teacher and the student, what worked well, what could have worked better. And you come back preparing for your next lesson based on the reflection of the previous lesson. So there's a lot to do. It's a cyclical 5E lesson plan. We also use a lot of gamification tools in the classroom. It's mandatory now that if you wish to engage the learners, you have to let gamification enter the classroom. Now, Quizlet is one such tool. The initial few Quizlets are free. They help you make flashcards. But after that, it's a chargeable tool. Kahoot.it, another gamification tool useful for MCQs. If you sign up for Kahoot, you get to create your own Kahoots, as well as you get to use a library of Kahoots. So if you see on screen, there are more than 9 million Kahoots available. So there are MCQs available. You can always play a quiz and students will enjoy the MCQs. Then there has been Edmodo. You can create your groups, your classrooms in Edmodo, and you can also, ask them to watch a video clip, say, for example, 9 minutes to 11 minutes. You watch that, then you pause there. You want them to answer a set of questions based on what they have watched. You want to have a little MCQ there. You want to connect to another link. All these facilities, assignment, quiz, poll, all of that is possible with Edmodo. So now I'm going to stop sharing this screen and I'm going to be taking you to another screen, which is my word wall screen. And I would love you to join in and play 1 or 2 games at word wall. Please be quick in joining a word wall once you see the link on screen, because word wall does not give us too much time. Just give me a moment. I will have to get back to word wall. So wordwall.net.in is the main website. And I'll quickly in Zoom only first show you. So I have a couple of things created here in WordWall. If you go to see, there is a Lifelines of the National Economy crossword for grade 10. Over here, they can show you the kind of templates available in WordWall. You can see on the right-hand side, I've shown you the templates. You can choose any of these templates while creating your own WordWall. So currently, I have chosen crossword. You can choose even random wheel or anything else that you want. So when you click on, I'm going to keep the volume off. Okay, in 10 minutes, this meeting is going to end. So let's be quick. If you want to do, now there is a timer somewhere here on the top of the screen. You can see the timer. You can see the correct answers. So suppose I don't know too many roads linking a state capital to a district road. Now I may not know the answer. So I may type in something and I come to know that my answer was incorrect because I didn't get the word right. Now I'm going to just keep typing and I'm going to get my answers wrong. Golden quadrilateral superhighways are implemented by. All right. And now as a student, I already know that I don't know much. I have not learned enough. In such a situation, what am I going to do? I'm going to click here and say submit my answers. And I can see my score 0 out of 10 in 49.4 seconds. I can see where I am on the leaderboard. And you can see people have got 10 on 10 in just 18 and 20 seconds. Okay, so I may decide to go back. I may want to see the correct answers that my teacher has assigned. So I can see all the correct answers. I can see what went wrong in the answers that I had written. I may choose to correct my answers. Now that the teacher has left, the game open for me to reattempt. I may want to replay. I have seen the correct answers. I may wish to replay. So that made life simple for the student. So what does gamification do? It gives the students a chance to revisit a concept that they may not have studied well, that may need them to do a remedial. But if we tell the students to stay back after class, they may not wish to stay back for a remedial. But if you leave a gamification option open to them, all kinds of remedial will be done because they will revisit those concepts until they have known the concepts thoroughly. Similarly, I have created a game show here in nationalism in Europe. So you can see how the game show goes. Once again, I'm going to choose any of the options. And you can see I get points for it. 100 points plus time benefit. Then there are bonus rounds. Now, because this is a kind of a game show, anything is possible. I happen to get a plus 200 here. And there may be a whole lot of questions, and I may either decide to go for a double score, triple score, minus score, whatever. Plus 100, time bonus, and there's a lot more that can happen. Once again, there's a bonus round. I may decide to resume, I may decide to start again, or I may decide to go for a bonus or simply skip. There's also something called label diagram in the options on word wall, where you may choose to do your map work. In the map work, you have to pick up a pin and place it in the correct area. Now this is the incorrect one, but you may place it here. Calcutta, I know is here. Chauri Chaura, I know is in UP. Dandi, I know is in Gujarat. And then ultimately, I want to submit my answers. I don't want to know anymore. So there were 4 out of the 9 correct answers in 28 seconds. Once again, I see the leaderboard. I go back. I can see the correct answers. These are the correct answers. And these are my answers. I may go back and I may wish to start again. So with this, I will stop sharing WordWall. You can try out many activities on WordWall. It's fun to do a WordWall. Plus, they have a lot of free activities available on WordWall. Okay, I'm going to be sharing a quiz link with you, which is join my quiz link. I'd like you to quickly log in. Quizzes.com. I'll put the link in the chat box. You may directly connect there. That's the quizzes.com link. Please join quizzes.com quickly. I don't see any participants having joined my link. All right, I'm starting. In case if you feel like joining, please do join. Now we have only 2 participants who have both not answered. You have 13 seconds left now. Your timer is on. 1 out of the 3 has answered. Time up. Arun Sari ji has got 710 points and the answer was correct. The others didn't get it. So the teacher can now see in this kind of a scenario who's getting how much correct. I'll be sharing the screen also for you to see in case if you're interested. All 4 have answered. I may choose to end the question here and proceed. And I may see the leaderboard. Aruna Shriji is at 1430, Akshata is at 820, and somebody is at 800. And you've been smart enough to get the answers correct. But you need to play faster. If this meeting ends, we'll have to stop here. So I will be also sharing the attendance link in your chat box. Please fill your attendance link in the chat box. At least copy it, because if the meeting ends, you will not be given your attendance for today's training. I'm sharing the attendance link. Please fill that up. I'll stop the quiz game. In the quiz, we know that some of you have definitely done a great job. So I'll stop the quiz. Please fill the attendance. You may also, in the meantime, decide to take a screenshot of this particular slide where you have links of videos for 21st century learning skills. This is the current paper pattern where in 22-23 this year we have 40% competency-based, MCQ, case-based and source-based questions. And we have 20% objective and remaining 40%